everybody, and thank you for taking some time in your busy schedule. I hope you're having your coffee with you. You are watching In Between Hairstylists, where we have conversation about the industry. My name is Isabelle Filion. I'm your host, and the purpose of creating this platform is to give us people in the beauty industry an opportunity to learn. My goal is to create content that is informative and educational. Today, we're going to be talking about hair competition. And I am so happy to welcome my friend, my associate. I've known her for many, many years. She is a salon owner. She is a master judge of Canada. And I am happy to welcome Sandy Roberts from Edmonton, Canada. So I'm going to go get her. Just wait a second here. Let's go. Oh, no. There we go. There we go.
Good morning.
Sandy, how are you?
I am excellent, Isabelle. How are you?
I'm really good, really good. I'm glad you're taking some time to be with us, and we're going to talk about hair competition. I couldn't ask for a better guest to be on my show. So
It's my pleasure. My pleasure, Isabelle. I'm so honored to be asked. I like, yes, competition. We need to discuss this.
competition. And you know what's amazing is I really believe I reflect for many years about I've known you for many years, and I know that you're probably one of the most decorated hairstylists, woman, female in Canada. And getting there, I know it's a lot of hard work. It was a lot of expense as well, I'm sure. But what I'm curious about, and this is for the new generation of hairstylists that are coming up and want to compete, we're going to have an open heart conversation. We need to talk about what's it like to be a competitor, what you need to do. So that brings me into my first question, which is what inspires you when you are preparing for a competition?
Well, you know what? There's many different kinds of competitions. In my day, of the only types of competitions we had were the live hands-on competitions where you actually did hair in front of an audience and your peers and against other peers of like-minded competitors while the judges were off not watching what you're doing, and then coming out and judging the finished product. Not, they didn't know who they were competing. How I got inspired was I stumbled onto a competition floor during an Allied Beauty Association convention, a hair show, and I was fresh out of school. This was 30 something years ago, fresh out of school, and I didn't even know that these existed because we didn't have that information or that opportunity in school, and we didn't have the internet wasn't as prevalent as it is now, and competition was there and vibrant. But if you didn't have someone around you who was competing, you didn't really hear about it. So anyway, I stumbled onto this competition floor. I've always been a competitive person. I've always played sports, been competitive when I was young. And now in hairdressing, I didn't even realize this was there. I fell in love just watching it, just watching the excitement and all the people around watching these people that obviously had taken a lot of time preparing this. And it was an Alberta provincial championship that I was watching, and the workmanship in the small amount of time that was given, and how they achieved from wet hair to this dry, intricate, finished hairstyle in like 20 minutes was like, how the heck did they do that? So me being me and thinking, oh, I can do this. The very next hair provincial I entered with no help, no homework, nothing. I can do this hair. And I read the rules thinking I knew what was happening. And out of 18 competitors for that particular year, I placed a proud 17th. My husband phoned me because we were still, using phones at the time after the competition, and said, how'd you do? And I said, you know what? I'm 17th in Alberta.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, I'm out here of the 5,000 licensed hairdressers in Alberta, or whatever many there were, I'm 17th. Just because I'm there doing it. And it inspired me to find somebody who knew what they were doing to help me, and B, do a little bit more preparation prior to the competition. At that time, it was all live models, and it's more than just a pretty girl. You have to actually know what the expectation is. And then after that, once I got some help, and I talked to Cecilia, the founder of the Master Judges Program in Canada, and she convinced me, because I'd asked her after competitions, because when I first started competing, of course, like anybody, I had to pay my dues, and I wasn't winning right off the bat. I think the worst thing that can happen to a young stylist is to win right off the bat, because they don't understand that they don't know everything. I'm the best. I'm number one. You can't tell me anything. I have seen a lot of young competitors get caught up in that loop. She encouraged me to take the Master Judges Program to understand the actual science and about balance and form and use of color and silhouette, and what we're actually looking for in creating a hairstyle. And then, of course, you have to design one. What I use for inspiration is I always look at what's been winning, of course, and then try to change it up and try to make it a little bit new, right? So that, and then using your own creative. Yeah, the hardest thing I think I had to learn for me was to trust my own creativity. And once I started knowing how to make a balanced hairstyle where you're using color to enhance the hairstyle, not just color, and trusting my own artistic eye, and studying, what wins, what doesn't win, and then I started winning. Of course, there's nothing more than inspiration than getting a trophy. that inspires you to try more, right? And I'm a salon owner. I was a salon owner at that time, and the young apprentices were very interested in what I was doing, because it was a different quality of doing hair than just standing behind the hair doing blonde cuts or whatever the trend of the day is, right? You're incorporating art form into hairstyling and presenting it, to the world, to your peers, and then having it judged, and then getting feedback from the judges. So I always got feedback from the judges, like, what could I improve on? Why didn't I score as high? And hope that they'd be honest and not just, oh dear, it was nice, just blah blah. As a judge, I always tried to be as kind and honest as I could with competitors.
Yeah.
Because I learned that, I don't want to blow somebody's whole idea of competing right off the water and they're never going to do it again just by being really critical, because there's always something good. And on a competition floor, whether it be live models or photography, which is kind of the way that competition has gone now, because that's one of our only platforms that we have for competing. There isn't much for live competition that's timed, and you're doing a haircut I went to one world championship where I did do from wet hair, a cut and a style in 20 minutes. That's hard work. And it's hard work in preparation. Yeah. You have to, like, I went through probably, 10 mannequins, getting that down so that I knew what steps were and how to finish it and complete it in that time.
That kind of leads actually to my second question too, is that how long do you prepare before a competition?
It depends on the competition, and it depends. For me now, I spend a lot more time preparing than I did when I very first started, because I know how much work it takes to make it perfect. And it really depends on your lead time to the competition. Back in the day when I first started competing, we had 7 big competitions a year in Canada alone, and there was multiple competitions in the United States and in Europe, and I tried to get to as many as I could. And at the beginning of the season, I would try to think about what is going to be the trend and what's going to be something new and different, but not so different. Because one thing, if you're going to do something really different, it better be really perfect, because the judges are going to be like, wow, what is this? So they're looking at the technical as opposed to the what they're used to seeing. But so at the beginning of the season, I spent a lot of time thinking about where the trends are going to go, what the colors are going to be, what we're going to see on the competitions floor. And then I would try to come up with something really unique and original. And you know what? Back in those days, it was really funny because you'd go to the competition floor thinking, wow, I've got something new. I've got a new color. I've got new shape. I've got new style. And you get on the competition floor and you'd be working like crazy doing yours,
Yeah.
focusing on it at the time. Then you'd step back and look around, and half of the competitors have your same kind of idea, right? Because they're doing the same thing I'm doing. They're looking at what happened. They're looking at trying to make something different, new, but still keep it, I don't know, fashionable versus completely avant-garde, which is of the future. And then
Yeah.
trend is what's really happening right now. And then the competition floor, competition work is always a little different than what you're seeing walking around the street. I always compare it to couture clothing styles versus ready to wear off the rack. So you're seeing the concepts and the ideas, shapes and use of colors and use of textures in an artistic form, and then you take and mute it down to make it sellable, right? So the competition work is more couture styling, and then then it's taken by the stylist. Oh, I really like, she did a asymmetric look there, but I want to make it more fashionable, so they'll soften it up or use it not so strong of colors, because you want to catch the judge's eye by using strong colors that are complementary or just plain strong, contrasting depending on the category, of course, too. Now, leading into today's competition with photography work, I haven't done a lot of that because I've never been inspired to create a still picture that's two-dimensional. I've always, for me, found more value for me personally to work on my technical skills as a hairstylist in cutting or styling, and to get it perfect and to enhance my focus,
I understand.
because
Yeah.
I find that translates a little bit more to behind the chair work.
Correct. Yes.
And it's a business after all. And all of this, in my mind, I want it to be part and parcel of making me a better, more profitable hairstylist. And if I can do a haircut in 30 minutes versus 45, a haircut and finish, and to a client, and it's the best haircut they're ever going to have for me, or well, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a really good haircut and finished, and it looks good when they leave the door in 30 minutes versus 45. How many more haircuts a day can I do? Ka-ching.
Right. Yeah.
And so the competition it's all flowed into the multifacetedness of me as a stylist, because I need to eat. I need to pay for my mortgage and drive a car, and I like nice things. So the competition is a hobby within my career that enhances my career.
Okay. That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember myself when I used to compete quite a bit. I think one thing that I could reflect on is it developed my skills, like to become fast, accurate. You also develop your eyes to see things that you would not normally see in the salon. You're forced to. It's automatic.
Yeah.
If you want to win, you gotta go the extra miles, and you have to start seeing things differently. And so that's what I gained from competing, and I'm grateful for having that skills, because it reflects in the salon when I'm doing the hair here. So it's all good.
You're able to analyze a haircut really quickly, right?
Right.
If someone shows you a picture now, you can look at it and analyze it. Is this graduate layer? Is this solid form? Is this, taper cut? Like, and the balance and making it work on somebody's face is very important, because it can be the best haircut in the world, but if the balance is off and it's in the wrong focal points on somebody's face,
I agree.
it's not, they're not going to be happy with it.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. What is the best advice you can give an up and coming hairstylist that would want to compete? I know right now it's a little bit hard with COVID, because No, we don't
We're
have
not
the
doing anything.
yeah, we
Yeah.
don't have the actual live competition here in Canada, but there is some in the States. I know, I'm aware of. There is some. Um, this past weekend, there was the premiere in Orlando that happened, which is crazy, but it happened. They had competition, so there is. So, but what would be the best advice you can give to someone that is interested in competing, but it's being shy about it because they don't know what to do or where to go?
Well, I would recommend, of course, you seek out somebody in your area that has competed.
Correct.
And people that compete, I have found, and like, because I've competed for many, 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 many years and know a lot of competitors. Most competitors are more than happy to talk about their competition work and will guide you and help you. And unlike me at the very beginning, there was people there, but I never really thought about it. But ask around, go to your distributorships. Ask, I mean, if you're particular salon, your particular area, you don't know anybody, um, ask Isabelle. She can tell you. She knows people all across Canada, all over. But or go to your distributor, local distributorship. They know the people that are involved in the industry, right? I find them a good resource for lots of information when you're wanting to know. Hey, do you know anybody who competes? Right? They can help you, and you just give them a call. And you really do have to sort of be confident in yourself that you want to do this and ask for help. And, if the first person says, no, I'm too busy, ask the next, or start looking at competitions in the past and looking at categories, reading the rules very carefully, knowing what they're looking for, looking at pictures. There's endless amounts of stuff on the internet to look for pictures. And this was a hands-on live competition in Orlando.
Yeah.
I missed it. Mind you, we have
Yeah.
to get there.
There's
We have
been
to get
quite
there.
a few, actually. I should just always send you a message.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, that's another thing, is knowing where to actually get that information and to try to stay, involved and find out about this. Right now with travel restrictions and everything, it's tricky, but that's going to change, and that's going to move forward.
Yes.
And we're going to move forward, and hair competition, live hands-on competition, whether it be live model or mannequin, is so beneficial for growth, for hairdressers that want to have
Yeah.
that little bit extra something that sets them apart in the industry. If you're out, say, I don't know, you're a young person, you're going out with your friends, you're two or three of your hairdressers, and you meet somebody and you're both trying to build clientele, and the other two are going, oh, I'm the best hairdresser, come see me. And you go, yeah, and I'm a good hairdresser too, but you know what? And I compete. It sets you
Mhm.
apart. I'm a competitive hairdresser. Whether or not you place 17th out of 18, or whether you place first in multiple, I mean, it just sets you apart as a hairstylist, in that you're putting something extra into your craft, into your trade, that once you get out of hair school, you know, it, you don't know it all. I mean, my gosh, when I first got hair school, I knew nothing compared to what I know now. You get the basics in hair school, you get the basics because that's all the time they have to give you. And then anything else after that, if you want to get better, you have to do it. Nobody else can give you a script or show you a video and you just automatically know how to do it with your hands, because your hands need that practice to say, oh, how did they hold that comb, or how did they hold that blow dryer, what direction was that brush going? And there's only way you can really figure it out is to do it hands on.
Right.
And then pick a hairstyle that you want to perfect and do it over and over and over again until you think in your mind that it's perfect. And when you're tired of doing it that many times, you got to do it a few more times, because it just becomes muscle memory. And especially when it comes to competition work, because when you're on that competition floor and the music's blaring and you're looking around and there's, I don't know, I've been in competitions where there's been 60 other competitors out there trying to do the same thing you're trying to do. The focus, if you can really get rattled, and then there's hundreds of people in the audience, or thousands if you're at Worlds or something, that are staring at you and everybody else out there, you better know what that first step is, what that first cut is, and or blow dry or section. And you have to be able to focus on that. And I find that practicing that focus and doing has really helped me in the hair salon too,
Yeah.
because I can focus on my client. And the world could be burning around me in the salon, and there could be people crying in the back room, and the receptionist is fighting with a client, another client, and are on the phone, and I don't hear a thing because I'm focused on that client. And I found that competition work really helped me with that, because it's a learned skill. Like we don't know anything when we're first born. Everything that makes us more developed as a human being comes from practice or learning, or experience. And competition, never more so than in competition, because you have to practice it again and again and again until you get it right. You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. If it's not working, try a different way, or ask somebody else to show you, or take a class. And or competition classes, aren't a lot of them out there right now, but hopefully moving forward, we'll still get more involved in that.
I have a comment that I wanted to tell you, and it's directed to you. It's Charles Mary. So she says, I was so honored to have to have worked with you. You inspired me every day. Sandy, you're an amazing artist. There you go.
Oh, well, see, she's such a sweetheart. Oh
Oh, there
my
you go.
gosh. Do you know her personally?
No, no, I just saw this in the comments. So I just
Oh,
wanted to tell you. There we
oh,
go.
she's there. Hi,
I
Chels.
don't know if she's there, but if she's there, hello.
Oh my gosh, yes, she came. She's from Eastern Canada, and of course I'm in Western Canada, and she was out in Alberta. Just new things in life, right? And she walked into my salon. She was a fun young hairstylist, looking for a place to work, and great energy. And that's what I look for in team members in the salon, is people that have a really positive attitude, want to do new things, want to try new things. Because I can teach skill, I can teach you how to do it, but I can't give you a good energy if you don't have that already. If you don't have a positive attitude towards what you want to do and are willing to learn. That's another one of the hardest thing I'm finding, or I've always found with young people. I know it's going to sound like an old fogey, but it's that the young kids, they don't want to listen. But
I love working with them. I just love working.
yeah, within it's been my grandmother used to say the same thing to me, right? So I mean, it's just a generational thing, and you
Mhm.
have to be willing to fall and pick yourself back up, because not every time you do something it's going to be first place, right? I mean, 17 out of 18, all that did was motivate me to want to get better, because I realized that I wasn't as good as I thought I was, because I could do hair because I'm fresh out of hair school, right?
Yeah,
And you have to look at that from that perspective, is that, okay, obviously I need to learn something here, right? You have to and be
yeah,
willing to learn it,
yeah.
right?
I remember one time in Regina, I was so upset about not placing. So I wasn't a judge back then. And I went up to the judge and I asked her, I said, like, can you please guide me? Like, what's wrong with my haircut? Like, and then she said to me, she says, your haircut is beautiful. What's wrong with your haircut is your color. You were not able to match the color with the haircut to be able to sell your haircut. She said, we were outside when I asked her. She said, look around you. She said, look at nature, look at the trees, look at the color of the leaves, look how it's blending together. If you could trans this from nature onto mannequin head and be able to integrate a whole bunch of colors in there, she goes, you're going to be a winner. After she said that to me, this was a kind of an awakening moment, an aha moment, where I just said, okay, she's totally right, even though I was really ticked off that I didn't right. But I thought, no, she's right. And I have to listen and I have to take her advice and be better. I have to be better at what I do. And there you go. Then I thought, I'm tired of like listening to this. I need to join in. You know what they say, if you don't,
If you can't beat them, join them.
there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what motivated me to take the judges program too. Was Cecilia told me, she says, "You want to be a better competitor? Take the judges program," and she was right. It was after that that I started seeing it in a different way and incorporating my skills to within the parameters that you're given. And
Yeah.
that, yeah, you can't always just do what you want to do and expect to win.
No.
Yeah.
Now, let's do something fun.
Okay.
So I want to find out, do you have a favorite product, hair product, to use when you're doing your craft there, especially when you were doing competition? Is there, because we all do have favorite product, but what is yours? Like,
Okay, well, it depends on the competition. It depends on the category. If I'm doing long hair styling, um, it's really important to prep the hair first, right? And I never go on the competition floor unless I've done that hairstyle on that mannequin or model at least twice, because then it's kind of in there for memory wise. You have to brush it out, but the hair remembers. So I like to use, when I'm styling and getting ready and prepping it, a product that will stay pliable when you're working with it, and if after layers of it doesn't start feeling like cardboard. So I usually blow dry the hair depending on the density and the texture of the hair. And I've been a Paul Mitchell girl since
right.
the 80s, right? I've been and so I usually blow dry the hair with either a super sculpt, which is the liquid gel that has a bit of a shiner in it to give the hair some backbone and memory, and or the Extra Body Daily Boost, which if it's finer hair and you want a little bit more volume, because it coats the hair, makes it feel fatter and thicker without being stiff and sticky. And then for styling, depending on whether I want really hard control or just flexible movement, I will use either the Freeze and Shine from Paul Mitchell, or I've also love the Elastic from, it's Osis from Schwarzkopf. It's a aerosol, light, medium to light hold hairspray, which is good for working with and finish. And then of course a shine spray at the end, and they don't make it anymore. And I cried. I went into mourning when Paul Mitchell stopped making the shine. It was a spray that I would always use at the end of every competition because it made the hair look like glass, just shine like crazy.
That's good. That's good.
Okay.
No, that's okay.
Okay. But that one, it had more of a silicone base, and so you couldn't really comb it with it because it might make the hair, but it was, as a finish, it was excellent. So a good shine, another good shine spray is the Osis, and now the name's escaping me, but it's the aerosol shine spray that I use in conjunction with the Elastic from Osis. And then I always base my style, I give it that body and form with either the Super Sculpt, the Extra Body Daily Boost, and the Freeze and Shine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then of course the Sebastian Shaper spray
Of course.
is a classic. You go on a competition floor, you see that every long hair stylist or finishing stylist is using that because it's a very light mist to hold those really fine detaily things, to just hold it without making it heavy. Because with competition work, it only needs to look good for the judging. It doesn't need to hold in all day long. So, right, you just make it airy and well, depending on the category, of course, but when you're doing hair cutting and you want strong lines and whatnot, you don't necessarily need those kinds of sprays. You just need a little bit of a shiner in there as you're if you're blow drying it, if that's part of the competition, right? So get to know your products, something that isn't too heavy, something that doesn't make it look greasy or wet, because the hair needs to look polished and smooth and finished, whether it have a lot of texture or not. It still needs to look polished texture, right? Not just dry fuzz, right? And don't rely on your flat iron if you're blow drying to finish it up, because if you haven't blow dried it smooth and shiny putting a flat, if it's fuzzy, putting a flat iron on it's just going to make it flat fuzz. It's not, you need to really perfect your blow drying skills. Blow drying is the key to a finished, polished hairstyle. And updos are a different animal, but when you're doing a blow dry style or a cut style, and you want it, your blow dry is the key. So you need to get a good brush with lots of teeth that stretch that hair, and a good blow dryer with lots of heat, and keep the nozzle on it, because if it's too big and round and it blows it around too much, you don't have the control. And then just really practice your blow drying skills.
Oh my God. You and I, we can sit there and talk about hair competition for like the whole afternoon, but this is like, we've been talking for 30 minutes now. So this is the end of it.
Feels like only just started. Oh, well.
I know.
Anytime, Isabelle.
Do you train people?
Yes. I have. There we go. I have done a lot of, especially when we used to have the new talent competitions. That's how I got involved with working with this chain of hair schools that I work with now, was training their apprentices for the new talent competitions. So yes, and long hair and cutting. Yeah, sure.
There we go, folks.
Yep.
Cindy Roberts from Edmonton, Salon on 6. She trains people. There we go.
Thank you very much, Isabelle. It was my pleasure speaking to you. And the chain of schools that I work with in Alberta is the One Beauty brands. So, just to throw it out there, so everybody knows, if I've got the opportunity, I'll brag about them, because we try to do a lot of inter-school competitions just to help students understand it and be aware of it. Student competition is it's a challenge for students, but you can really pick out people who want to do something more in their career, the ones that participate in that. Even if you suck at it or you don't want to do it in the future, try it once. Just to see what how to time manage. Time management is so important to your work behind a hair salon. Knowing what 20 minutes feels like in real life is so important to making money in a hair salon. Yeah.
No, every up and coming hairstylist should really look up to you. And I thank you very, very much. You always show integrity in anything you do. And I am so grateful to have known you like all these years, and so it's amazing. But the beauty about this show is for anyone, you'll be able to watch it all over again and share it with your friends. So please do, because this is good information that young hairstylists need to know.
Yes, thank you very much.
This was oh, you're very welcome, Sandy. This is part 1. I think we should continue do a part 2.
For sure. Anytime. I'm here for you, girl.
Good. So there we go. This concludes show on Facebook. It's called In Between Hairstylists. And I hope that this serves you right today. I guess we can say bye for now.
Bye for now. Thank you.
Bye for now.